Welcome to TradeTheNBA.com. This is John. This report is for December 1st, and not really much of a surprise going into the end of it. We came back and just retested on the support at the 45, which we had here for quite some time, and perfectly within the expectation of where we were. It's interesting that we're starting to now actually see some activation in the short category. That will be a catalyst if they're able to overcome the bullish nature in general to stop a move higher. But as it is now, turn around here with MBI Magenta back above yellow, and that could be enough to propel to, well, at least matching highs from the mid-July area. So there's that potential that still exists right now, because this is not looking weak for any particular reason. Not to mention you still have cyan under red from a DOC. There's no change in the overall direction. The question is about momentum, about volatility, and how quickly those things will change. And you got to remember, the Nasdaq has been under serious pressure for quite some time with very weak readings, and still well above the 76%. Hadn't even come close, and you can see a lot more people activating into that short up here. Well, we're looking at a 10 reading for the MBI white on a daily, so that's fairly negative, but still don't even have a cross of cyan above red on the DOC. So no change at this particular stage. It's just been a momentum pause and an absorption, simplest way to put it. And from treasuries, just pretty much at the baseline, not really indicating a cut in rates yet, but getting close to that territory. And again, the bond market's been way wrong for the whole year. So relying on that one, it's been an interesting one because they're usually not wrong. And they just got way ahead of the curve on so many different directions that didn't make a whole lot of sense. From an oil standpoint, fade back into that mid 70 range. So nothing to spark any trauma there. And from a Middle East standpoint, there's the reactivation of hostilities a little bit, but it hasn't been the nightmare that everyone thought it was going to be, or at least not thought it would be, at least much the potential that it could be, and that never materialized. And that has been, I think, probably what has kept the market fairly well under control. Not that there aren't plenty of macro issues that would pose all sorts of warning signs, but that's a whole different topic. From a gold standpoint, it's going to continue its rise. It's still pretty healthy from a reading standpoint, and it's been a little late comparative to crypto, which still hasn't broken out into any kind of new range. It's just been trading sideways along with the market in this particular case, but it's also poised to break out into new highs. And I think that you can see all the catalysts starting to build. Everything's coiled up and ready to explode, barring any negative input. There really isn't any reason why it can't. You can see from a 50K standpoint, filled back the couple of positive extremes. We did it the other day, and then we were talking about if we got another white MBI spike that we would be moving to the 0%, and that's exactly what happened. And then it didn't take long for a turnaround to take place from there, and that's what we currently have right now. Moved back about 50%. A little bit of softness, but yeah, wait, fade on that one. Is it going to produce too dramatic an effect? So we would expect that 50% to hold, at least at the time being. From an intraday with a lot more volume. So comparatively speaking, from the other day where it was about half this distance, we got twice the size from the 5K tick chart here. But beautiful from their signaling. Nice up down, making new lows, and then it built up, got the head of steam, and then took off. So all pretty clean from that standpoint. We should be able to push back through here. I mean, it's interesting. These were previous algorithm retraces that we had marked from the positive extremes. And it was interesting. They became overhead resistance and then also became a trading range, which I thought that was interesting when it correlates to the other previous support resisted areas that we had marked before. So it's kind of pretty much an algo run setup. It's all been pretty consistent and very clean. So start off the month right, and people get excited because I think things are going to get a little bit more interesting. As always, trade well. Have a good one. See you on the Sketch Chat.